Hello Year 12 and Year 13 and welcome to this week's virtual assembly. This week we're going to be closing the book on September and entering our second month of the academic year, October. Now for some of you, obviously in Year 12, you're beginning your first academic year of your sixth form education, and for Year 13 you're going to be beginning the final year of your secondary education. So it's quite an important year for both year groups. As we close the book in September, it would be really useful for you to set in some early reflection and then think about how you want to go on for the rest of the academic year. So it might be a nice idea after you've finished today's assembly to have a think about 3 sources of pride, 3 things that you've done this month that have brought you some personal pride that you're really proud of yourself for. Maybe 2 kind of small wins. They can just be really kind of insignificant, small little things that you've achieved or something that you're really pleased with how it's gone. And then lastly, 1 goal or change. So maybe something about September that you wish you had done a little bit better, or that you could have planned for slightly better, or some kind of change you can make going forward to make October an even better month. Now, once we've reflected, I want to make you aware of some of the things that are on in the next couple of months. Dr. O has sent out a really detailed email with more information about each of these events. So if you're interested in any of them, then please refer to his email. And then on his email, you will also find sign up information, because for some of them you need to register on Eventbrite, and then links to the Zoom or Teams meetings so that you can attend them. We really encourage you to attend as many of these webinars as you can, especially if you're quite undecided about what your next steps are after sixth form, as they all provide you with a wealth of ideas and experience from all of the speakers talking. So first of all, we've got one this week actually on Tuesday the 28th of September. And at 5 p.m, Dr. O will be hosting a webinar with 2 of our ex-students. And this will be a really useful talk if there's anybody currently applying or thinking of applying next year to Oxbridge, so either Oxford or Cambridge. The 2 ex-students that are going to be speaking are both been successful into getting into Oxford. So we have Poppy who'll be talking, who's studying history at Oxford, and Katie, who's studying geography at Oxford. So an excellent talk, and one that you can get a real point of view from somebody that's applied from Radyr and is, enduring the experience at the moment. Now later in the week as well, on Thursday the 30th of September at 6 p.m, we've got Swansea Uni talking. Again, this is going to be a really useful talk and is targeted at both students and their parents. So it might be a nice idea for you to get your parents to come along and watch this with you as well at home. They're going to be talking not just about their own university, but about the university experience in general. So they're going to be talking through the application process of how you apply to all unis. They're going to be talking about the different courses available and how you kind of narrow down those options and choose the best course for you. And then they will obviously focus a little bit on Exeter University more personally and talk about things such as the courses they offer and some of their key facilities there. But don't be put off by the idea that it is just Exeter Uni if that's not one you're entertaining, because it is going to be a really good general uni talk as well. And like I said, excellent one for your parents to come along with too as well, because they'll be pitching it at parents as well as students. Now the following week on Tuesday the 7th of October, there's also going to be a talk arranged with Swansea Uni, and this is going to be at 5 p.m. Now this is going to be a great course for people that are interested in the particular fields presented on the screen, such as business, management, accountancy, law or economics. But there's going to be those and others talked about. So this will be an excellent talk for those that are still a little bit undecided, as well as already opting maybe for one of the ones on the screen there. You'll get to learn some information, get the chance to ask some questions as well. So it'll be really relevant. And again, Swansea University will obviously be talking about their own university a little bit, but we'll also be providing a wealth of information on those subject areas in general. So if you're thinking of applying for business elsewhere or law elsewhere, etc., I would still encourage you to come along, because there's going to be some great information on that. And on Tuesday the 12th of October, Dr. Rose arranged a talk with University of South Wales. This is going to be at 6 p.m. Now this focus is going to be on degree apprenticeships and also personal statement advice. So remember that Dr. Rose already explained to you the degree apprenticeships are when you get the chance to get a degree that's paid for you, as well as completing an apprenticeship at the same time with a company. It means that you get a really nice balance of practical experience alongside theoretical studies. So it's great for more practical people. It takes a little bit longer, but then again, a great benefit is that your degree gets paid for you and you get paid at the same time. So it's an excellent alternative option to universities, and the qualifications you gain will be equal to, sometimes more than, what you would gain out of a university degree anyway. So if that's maybe an avenue that might appeal to you, then definitely attend this one. They're very experienced in offering degree apprenticeships, so they'll be able to answer any questions you've got on it, as well as giving you an overview. But what's also great about what University of South Wales will be talking about on the 12th of October is they'll also be giving some personal statement advice. So for Year 13s in particular, that are currently working on or trying to make a start with the personal statements, this would be a great one to come along to if you're a little bit stuck and you want some extra tips. And then on Thursday, the 4th of November, University of South Wales are going to be delivering another talk with us at 5 p.m, this time specialising on one of their courses, which is advertising design. Now, University of South Wales have got an excellent department in this area. We've taken students down in the past to do a bit of an experience day, and they've really enjoyed it. They've got a great advertising design department, and they've done amazing projects with some really big companies like Brains and Heinz and lots of other ones as well. So if advertising design is something that might appeal to you, even if it's not definite, you should really pop along and get a little bit more of an insight into this kind of course and what it can offer for you. So before I move on, obviously, like I said, all of those talks are available as in webinar form, as we're still keeping everybody safe. They'll all be available either through Zoom or Teams. And the best place for more information is on Dr. Rowe's email. So if you just search him in your email, it'll be one of the most recent ones that's come through. There'll be a little bit more of a paragraph of an overview of what the talk will offer. And then you'll find either the Eventbrite link to register and or the Teams or the Zoom link so that you can access it on the day. If you have any more questions about that, then don't hesitate to just contact myself or Dr. Rowe ahead of time. So moving on, just want to cover some basics with the procedure so that everybody's clear. So in terms of attendance and absence, then as we know, signing in and out is really important. So remember that whenever you come onto school site, okay, be that just before period 1, if you've got a first lesson and you need to sign in 5 minutes before, maybe 8:25, or if that means coming in at 11 o'clock in the day, whenever it is that you enter onto school site, before you go to the lesson or before you just come into the study room to spend some time there, then it's really important that you sign in on the relevant sheets and that you put the time in which you've come onto site, not just a tick by your name. And then equally, whenever you leave school site, it's really important that you put the time in which you're going to leave the school site as well. If you're coming and going throughout the school day, maybe you're coming in a little bit later, you're popping out for lunch, you're coming back later, that's absolutely fine as well. You haven't got to sign in and out just once. If you know that that's probably going to be the case, then just write the times a little bit smaller in your boxes so that you've got room to put a later time later when you might come back in and out again. Remember that if you leave after period 5, then there's no need to sign out, as we'll assume that everybody's left site after 3:05. Now, as well as signing in and out, then lesson and tutorial attendance are obviously very important. I'll talk a little bit about absences, but obviously unless there is a real genuine reason and a really important reason why you can't be in a lesson or tutorial period, then you should be in every single one of them. You should be on time because your punctuality is extremely important, and every lesson is really valuable. Remember that if a teacher is absent on the day, maybe they've let you know in advance, or you're not aware until you actually go to the classroom and nobody's there, then remember to come straight back up to the sixth form study room and let a member of staff know, usually Mr. Barker or Mr. Chiliano, but obviously if I'm around, or if Dr. Rowe's around, then let us know. We'll start up a paper register for you, and then we'll make sure that your marks are entered into the system, and this will avoid you receiving kind of nil marks and this affecting your attendance. Okay, so even if the teacher's provided work for you and you know what you're doing, it's really important that you come in and you sign in as well. Now, with authorised absences, obviously there are some reasons why students need to miss lessons and tutorials from time to time. things such as, dental and medical appointments that can't be scheduled outside of school time, things like open days, okay, and other kind of opportunities like that are absolutely fine. And obviously sometimes as well, there might be illness that happens before you come into school and you need to let us know about that. All of those are really valid authorised absences. And so we want to make sure that your attendance is as good as it can be and that anything that can be authorised is. So what's really important is that you get somebody at home to either phone up the attendance line or email myself and Dr. Rowe. Preferably do that as well as maybe ringing up the attendance line. And obviously let us know how long you're going to be off for, when, and when you're likely to be back. If you can do that in as far advance as you can, especially with things like appointments, then that's great. Obviously, if you're ill on the day, say you come into school and then you feel a little bit ill later and you need to go home, that's absolutely fine. But just make sure you speak to Mr. Chiliano, another member of the sixth form team, before you go and sign out so that we can make sure you're okay. And then lastly, if you do miss any lesson tutorial time, it's important that you know that it's your responsibility to catch up on the work. Please don't wait for your teachers to email you. That's not their job. If you're missing the time, then you need to email them straight away, ask them what you need to be doing. And then obviously, as soon as you're able to, complete that work and make sure you're all caught up. And as well as that, I just want to also give some reminders about uniform and standards. As you know, we've been clamping down on this quite a lot already. So remember the uniform standards. The main things to avoid are obviously things like hoodies and jeans are absolutely not allowed. And we need to be careful about things like skirt lengths as well. The uniform on the whole is looking excellent though, okay, year 12 and year 13, so that's brilliant. Again, we've had a few issues with accessories, so moving forward, let's make sure that we don't have anything beyond the essential jewellery that could be worn, such as studded earrings, no facial jewellery, and no excessive jewellery of any other kind. And in terms of the mobile phone policy, this has been made really clear to all students that you should not be using your mobile phone anywhere else on school site apart from indoors in the sixth form block. Okay, so that's anywhere in the foyer, the sixth form cafe, or the study room. Outside on the benches do not count. Your form rooms do not count. Any other classroom or around school site does not count. So please have your mobile phones away. It's a bit embarrassing when you've got to have them taken off for you as a sixth former. Okay, so like I said, just a reminder, it's a nice time to kind of reflect at the end of September as we're moving into October. So think about those three things that I asked you to reflect on earlier, the three sources of pride, the two kind of small wins for this month, and then lastly, the thing that you can kind of change or adapt going forward. Have an excellent week and we'll see you later.